for a few of you who are a bit younger, that was a reference to this old group called the Three Stooges, where they would sleep and they would make noises, especially Curly, the younger brother. I just wanted to think of something else other than that. And honestly, those poses I was doing is what I was doing in my brain throughout the movie, because this movie was insanely boring. And that's my first thought when I think of Joker 2. Folie of fucks. Folie of douche. Fuck a douche. It was boring as hell. If you want a good sleeping pill, Joker 2 is the way to go. You know, for those who know my channel, you know I usually drink Mellow Yellow, but I'm having 7-Up today to 7-Up yours. And back to the day I had these for upset stomachs. And my stomach was upset, so I figured this will help. And I can't have more caffeine because my blood pressure will go right to my brain. And it didn't go down like an elevator drop from hell through my ass. I hated this movie. I hated this movie. Is it the worst film I've seen this year? No. I've seen Sasquatch Sunset, among a few other films. Would it make the top 5? Maybe. But there's been a lot of bad films this year. And it's not just me saying it. A lot of people have said it. There's a reason why this film is a box office bomb. There's a reason why they spent $200 million. It's not making anything. There's even talks that on the weekend Terrifier 3 will beat Joker 2. Hell, by the time this review's uploaded, may have done that. A low-budget horror film beating a $200 million studio film, where your first film made $1 billion for an R-rated Joker movie. I'm not the only one that thought this film sucked. Todd Phillips should be arrested whenever he gets near another sequel. Whenever someone, whether gives him the money or he thinks of the idea himself, someone should come with a pair of handcuffs, take him to jail. You'll be confused at first, but when he gets put in jail, you tell him, no sequel for you. It'll take a while for him to dawn on it, but Exhibit A, Hangover 2. Exhibit B, Hangover 3. Exhibit C, Joker 2. 3 strikes, and you're out of there, Todd. You're out of there. I liked the first Joker. The first Joker surprised me. I heard praise, but I'm like, okay, there's a lot of movies that get praise, but I thought it was really good. Joaquin Phoenix did a fantastic job. I thought it was a really nice take on Taxi Driver, teen of comedy, a guy who's been pushed by the system, by his mom, by all the things going on in his life. He seems like he tried to be a decent guy, but at the same time, with all this stuff going on, all this built up, inner anger, inner turmoil, things are just ready to erupt, and it did in a very violent fashion. Like his Robert De Niro, and then inadvertently became the thing he thought of, a star, just not the way he thought. And even at the time, back then, well, this isn't really the Joker Prince of Crime, the Clown Prince of Crime, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, people knew and they accepted the fact that this is an Elseworlds story. There's a story separate from all that stuff. Batman doesn't need to exist in the world. There's a Bruce Wayne, but things don't have to go your typical way. So now we could say, yeah, he won't be the Clown Prince of Crime, but he could be this different type of Joker. And that was this development, this build-up of who he became and what he became. And then Todd Phillips said, you know what? I don't want to make a sequel. Joaquin Phoenix said, you know what? I don't want to make a sequel. And you should have stuck with that first thought. because the majority of people said the same thing. The exact same damn thing. But then they put all the money, in fact, that $200 million budget, I'm not kidding, I would bet half of it went to those two alone. I would bet money on it. I bet that $200 million on it. And they didn't want to make the sequel, but they said okay, and then they farted out this. And it stank. It stank up the room so much people left. You hear stories that people are leaving the theater. Cinema Store was usually, if the film has moving pictures and colors, they get like a B or a C plus or a B minus. It has a D for damn, that movie sucks. And the film is flopping badly. It's flopping harder than a guy who can't get it on like Donkey Kong. Because he saw Donkey Kong, saw the size of Donkey Kong, got embarrassed, and went a wet little noodle about as big as a strudel, fingernail style, and said, damn, I can't own up to that. Your girlfriend just got bumped by Donkey Kong. How fucking embarrassing is it you getting fucked by a gorilla? Okay? So, if you get embarrassed by that, it's a pretty fucking embarrassing moment, isn't it? It made anybody did so little go back inside. Like in any... Is that your belly button? No, it's my dick. Decided to go back in. This is too scared and embarrassed. Just like this. It's so damn scared of itself. It was so scared of what it wanted to be with the first movie. With Todd Phillips and the way they made it. And, oh, well, there are people that took it the wrong way. And they made Joker a hero in their eyes. What, 10% of the people? So because you're mad at the 10% of people that decide to take it the wrong way, you said, fuck all you who liked the movie. Kiss my ass. We're going to do a sequel that does a 180 of the first movie. This is like getting on a plane. You're on a plane for 3 hours, going from A to B. I'm in America. I'm going to Tokyo. I don't know how long that trip is, but pretty damn long. I'm getting ready for Tokyo, and I'm thinking about the journey. I'm looking at all the brochures, and I'm going to go Tokyo, maybe go to the strip club, get some Asian slang going on. Okay, let's take the trip over here one night in Bangkok. Anywhere and everywhere, up, down, and center. I know Bangkok's not in Tokyo. I'm saying we take diversions, we go everywhere, all over, just not North Korea, just fuck that. Just go anywhere. All these planning, all this stuff, and you get there, and then someone comes up and says, nope, you can't get off the plane. Why? Because you're going all the way back to the beginning. So it was all fucking pointless. The whole thing was pointless. It was all entirely pointless. You took the long plane ride, and you had all the maybe a little bits, oh wow, this could be cool, this could be interesting. At the ending of Joker, ambiguity. What was a dream? What was not a dream? What could have happened? What did happen? What's going to occur? What's not going to occur? It's up to you. But say, no, we ain't having that. Because Warner Brothers, we made $1 billion. And you thinking we're going to stop with that? Because we've had 85 other flops. And we can't buy a hit, literally. We screwed up our DC. Didn't they do Batman Furiosa? That bomb? How many bombs do you have? How many bombs does it get to the inner part of a Warner Bros. Twitch bar? Okay? Only they ain't butterscotch, they ain't fudge. Unless it's the fudge from a Hershey Highway. Up someone's Spinter Moon River style. I find it ironic they trashed that movie. What was it? Coyote versus Acme, where Wile E. Coyote has a trial because he wants to sue Acme for selling him bad products. And the ironic thing is, that sounded like a more interesting trial courtroom movie than what the fuck I saw. And that would have made more money than what the hell I saw. That's the irony. They dumped a movie that would have made more money and would have been a more interesting courtroom film than the film they spent $200 million, and they might as well flush that down the river. And the thing is, I could blame Warner Brothers, but let's be honest. They said yes to it, as in they wanted it, but Todd Phillips, you had creative control. Joaquin Phoenix, I heard he had more creative control, and it was more Joaquin Phoenix. Whatever the hell is, it's more those two guys' fault at the end of the day. The studio, you did stupid things. You should have had a producer. You should have had, your head on straight. Sure, use some common sense, but God forbid, common sense is against the law in Hollywood. It is. If you use common sense, you get 2 to 5 years, at least. Probably more in the 5 years. Joaquin Phoenix, you fucked up. Todd Phillips, you fucked. Don't do sequels anymore, dude. You suck at them. And Joaquin Phoenix, you spoke all the cigarettes you want. Doesn't mean you were good in this. Because honestly, you didn't really do much in this compared to the first one. And again, it's like, I wish Coyote vs. Abby was released. I want to see that movie, not this movie. In fact, no one asked for a sequel. Well, it made $1 billion. Then just say no. Just like drugs. You just say no. But they took the drugs and they're Requiem for a Dreamin'. They took the drugs on here and they're dreaming and hoping for a profit. But it ain't going to happen. Because I heard they even Terrifier 3. That's low-budget slasher film. The Weeknd, I've heard it's going to beat Joker 2 on the weekend. Hell, by the time this is uploaded, it might have already done that. What a massive flop. Congrats, Warner Brothers. Because you could have stepped in and said, no, let's not do a sequel. Let's take that $200 million and, think better. Think, McFly, think. But you don't. You let Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix run wild. And they must have been on some bad drugs. Although I wish I was on drugs, just maybe I would have not almost fell asleep 3 times watching this movie. I know I'm 12 minutes in, I haven't talked about the movie. There's not much to talk about the damn movie. Is it the worst film I've seen this year? No. I've seen Sasquatch Sunset. A Bigfoot took a dump on a road, and another one milked their titties on the road. Yeah, there's not many things worse than that. But it's pretty damn close. Maybe top 5 worst of the year. It's annoying because I liked the first Joker movie. Again, that surprised me. I don't hold that as in one of the best films I've ever seen, but I thought that was a nice surprise. I thought Joaquin Phoenix did a great job. There's many things about that film I like. Quite enjoyed. Is it a film I rewatch over and over again? No, but I like it. It was good. But they did a 180. Just 10% of people... Oh yeah, so you don't listen to 10% people that took the message the wrong way. But the other 90%, like me, who did like the film, you shove 2 fingers up our asses and spread them open to put your head in it. Get your head on my ass. Okay? And go over there and wash yourself. You played yourself, fool. You played yourself. This movie was boring as hell. It's almost 2 hours long. It is over 2 hours, actually. It's over 2 hours long. And what happens? I knew I was in trouble when it starts with a Looney Tunes cartoon. Speaking of Coyote vs. Acme, a Looney Tunes cartoon. Because it's not even like we see that... I don't even think like he was dreaming this. It just... Oh, here's Joker and his shadow. His shadow is doing stuff. Scenes on the show. And then at the end, the shadow and Joker get back together after his pants been put down. He's beaten by the cops. Again, you know you're in trouble when you have a cartoon and he dropped his pants and the cops beat the shit out of him. You knew something was awry. What this film was a lesson in extreme self-indulgence. Self-indulgent to the max. What these folks don't realize is, as much as producers, as much as studios, they do screw up. At times they are the villains. They are. But sometimes... they go in and mess with stuff for a good reason. some of those films in the 70s that need to be messed with, like Heaven's Gate, that movie. No, they let someone have their vision, and then they tripled studios, and they made a movie that wasn't, that fantastic, and then a lot of people lost their jobs that had nothing to do with it, and it's like, well, we gotta listen to the artist. Sometimes the artist don't know what the hell he's doing neither. So after your cartoon, Arthur Fleck is in jail. Brendan Gleeson, who I've liked in films like 28 Days Later, I even liked him in Lake Placid. He plays this annoying, irritating guard that will not shut up. And he's talking about, hey, you got a joke today? Arthur, you got a joke today? Hey, Arthur, you got a joke today? Hey, you have a joke for us? He's annoying, and later he gets rapey. So that's what it is. And it's just, I want him to shut up. And throughout the film, he's either being a prisoner, being glum. Some guards kind of, hey, some people, hey, you don't kiss that guy? So he goes up and kisses a guy and walks away. I don't even know what that was for. What was that whole thing about? He has psych evaluations. Oh yeah, the whole musical thing. Again, one of the many self-indulgences. The cartoon at the beginning that really didn't need to be there, wasn't really that noteworthy. I don't think it was really that intriguing. In fact, it's just like, hey, it's a precursor of, we want to make the Joker a fool and tell you he's a fucking loser, idiot, moron, putz. And for you to be interested in this story, you're dumbass. That's really what this movie says. Which is weird, because then it's like, well, that's what the first movie was, Jag Off. Todd Phillips, you dumbass. Did he forget what the hell movie he made in the first place? Apparently he did. The you can't even call this a musical. Musicals are usually... Little Shop of Horrors is a musical. When they sing a song, the song actually drives the plot, the story, the characters. Like Living on Skid Row or Suddenly Seymour is standing beside you. Number one, they're better songs. Number two, they're original songs. And number three, they're telling the story. And that's part of it. This is literally the movie stops to sing a random real song. That's it. Let's stop and sing this song. Let's stop and sing this song. That was a hit back to the day. Like a song called The Joker was a hit back to the day. So we stop and sing this song for 3, 4, 5 minutes, and then the movie keeps going. For once in my life, I've got someone. He sings that to the prisoners. But it's in his mind because it didn't really happen. But so many of these songs happen, but there's like no really point to them. It doesn't drive a character motivation. It doesn't drive a story point. It doesn't drive anything except insane and boredom. And you want people to shut the fuck up and stop singing. What do you don't get out of these songs? Joaquin Phoenix, he sings as good as I do. Jack Swat. So you don't listen to a guy sing like crap, some random song, surprising go Tutti Frutti on Rudy. Which, hell, that was better than Top Secret. But, I mean, Top Secret was more of a musical than this. No, they didn't sing Tutti Frutti in this, but I just want to think the Top Secret is a much better movie than this. Lady Gaga is Harley Quinn, where she tells about how she lit fires and she's committed and her dad is dead, and there's a point where she lights fire, they escape, and then she sings a song about room at the top. There's room at the top. I'm like, what the hell does that have to do with your predicament? What the hell does that have to do with you're going on? What the hell does that have to do with anything that's happening in the scene? They get caught. People take pictures. They're in the paper. And in that one, people reference that she's sane. So it's like, well, okay, so she's sane for real that time? And you know something's up because there's a bit where he's in confinement and all of a sudden she's in his cell. Then they have sex. But then later she tells him she's pregnant. And then when he ever mentions this, it's not like she's going, you crazy? What are you talking about? We never had sex. What are you talking about? We never did this. As if that really did happen. So how the hell did she get into a confinement jail cell and have sex with someone without anyone knowing about it? Even later, this is all spoilers. Oh, well, Harley Quinn, she's actually a psychiatry student. And she was voluntarily committed, and her dad is alive. She never burned down anything. That still doesn't mean you're going to be able to see the Joker in solitary confinement with enough fucking time to have sex with the guy. So I'm thinking, okay, well, this was a dream. But then later, like, she mentions she's pregnant, like, and then nothing else says it was a dream. So how the hell did she get there in the first place? Oh, and really what this movie was about was Harley Quinn is the alpha and Joker's the omega. Because it's very toxic with the Joker relationship throughout the years. It's very toxic, folks, because Joker treated Harley Quinn like his bitch. Because Joker treated Harley Quinn very abusive. It was abusive, emotionally manipulative relationship. So they thought, you know what, that's mean. It's too mean to women. So we gotta flip it. So now she's being the toxic one in the relationship. She's the one using him for clout. She's the one using him as a... She's interested in the Joker persona. And then once he's done with that, she says, nope, adios muchachos, I'm done. I don't want you. I want you and your noodle ass and your noodle dick to get the hell out of my face. And no, I don't think she was pregnant. She was saying that all this stuff to mess with him, to manipulate him, because she's the aggressor, folks. She ain't no victim. She's the. And honestly, I just didn't find her character that interesting. There's many points in the film where she's not in it, so it made it seem like she was going to be in it a lot more than she really was. And the dream scenes, it's just an assortment of Joker having dreams, Arthur Fleck having dreams of him in love with Harley Quinn. Dancing with her, singing to her to the TV. Pretty much the whole time being a fool, which his lawyer even told him, and the lawyer's actually Catherine Keener, the actress who was Nick Cage's wife in 8mm. Which is interesting because I just rewatched 8mm. Great movie. That's a great movie, 8mm. So again, the lady who was Nick Cage's wife, she's the lawyer here. And I thought she did a good job. But she even tells him the truth and he doesn't want to listen. Instead, later, he fires her. The rest of the movie is a boring, nothing courtroom trial that I got more suspense out of My Cousin Vinny. That's about nothing. It's about, oh, the little guy in the first one comes up and goes, oh man, you know, you never made fun of me. You know, that's a good thing. Or, oh yeah, I don't think he's mentally sick. Well, wait a minute, you talked to him for only 89 minutes, but you think he's not sick? His mom did this, his mom did that. It's all information we already knew in the first movie. It doesn't offer anything of interest, humor, suspense, or entertainment. Is boring as shit. The Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial was more fascinating than this. I had more twists and turns. Even had a guy puffing and smoking and leaving the damn parking spot. Had more laughs too. Because you watch some of those, it's pretty damn funny. At one point, Joaquin Phoenix loses in court. Then he says he's going to represent himself, so he dresses in the Joker makeup. And again, for a movie that cost $200 million, but again, half of that went to those two, Joaquin and Todd Phillips. And Lady Gaga was there. I don't hate Lady Gaga. I liked her in A Star Is Born with Bradley Cooper. I actually think that's a pretty good movie. It was cool to see Andrew Dice Clay in there. She just... It's her character that was the problem. She was just a very... Just a Amber Heard manipulative bitch. Yay. And that's the thing, what I was saying is that for a movie that much, there's not really that many different type of scenes, meaning there's him in the jail cell or being interviewed. Steve Coogan, who I remember as the director in Tropic Thunder, and like comedic roles, he's had a big role as a guy interviewing Joaquin. It's either him in a prison cell or a cafeteria, him in the courtroom, and that's it. Like, this is like, it was like 5 sets. It was like 5 different sets. I mean, the first Joker, you're in the city, you're going all sorts of different places and streets, and that felt like a bigger movie, bigger scope, bigger everything. This was much more contained, much more smaller, yet it had a budget 4 times its size. Dumbfounding. And if you don't have it confined, then you gotta have an intriguing plot. Courtroom drama, go watch 12 Angry Men, both versions. Hell, go watch And Justice for All with Al Pacino. A Time to Kill. Find Me Guilty with Vin Diesel. Again, My Cousin Vinny. These 2 Utes. You say Utes? Everything that guy said was bullshit. Thank you. Just like this movie is bullshit. That's why it's... Like, part of me was like, it's hard to get mad because there was like nothing happening for like good chunks of time except spinning his wheels. Because they had no story. You could tell this had no story because it spun his reels for so damn long. The plot, he's in jail. Some bitch manipulates him. He just says, I don't want to be Joker anymore. He dies. The end. Credits. For over 2 hours. Repetitive, unneeded, boring musical numbers that don't further the story, don't further the plot, are not even interesting to listen to because Joaquin's not that much of a singer. And there's nothing to those sequences. And then it gets to when he hears that the little guy seemed like he did like him, so Joker kind of goes, as in, well, he actually, someone actually did like Arthur Fleck. And then he gets, he had called the guards fat and stuff. He gets dragged by the cops, including Brendan Gleeson, to the shower. They strip him. Then they cut away. Then they drag him, and he's really out of it. So, I mean, think about it. It's a prison movie. You're taken somewhere. You stripped out your clothes. The next thing you're out of it. They didn't give you just a spanking for your painting. They stuck the nightstick up your twat. They thought your ass was a pussy, and they have a home for it. Their cot needed something warm, and you were the warmer and the warmie. Stocking stuffings, and it wasn't Christmas time. Something needed to stuffed, and it wasn't the turkey. And they were the baster. But it wasn't glaze coming out. It was something else coming out, and you do the math. So that's why he's so out of it. Then this guy who kind of liked him, he starts doing something, and the guard just pulls him out and chokes his ass to death. So I guess it's supposed to be like, hey, the system sucks, you can't beat the system, so why even try? And then the director wants to say in interviews, well, what I wanted to do was people put this thing on him to be the Joker, and he realized, he couldn't be the Joker. He just wanted to be Arthur Fleck. So this whole story is about him just going back to being Arthur Fleck. Instead of being who he is, he was always Arthur Fleck. He was always this guy. And now what these people thought of him as. Which I'm like, but that's not what the point of the first movie was, dude. The point of the first movie was that all this buildup and all this anger created this thing, which society does multiple times. It was not a movie, it's not this and that, it's society. It's like falling down with Michael Douglas. That's really what it is. I mean, it's falling down with Michael Douglas, which is a great movie. But then they didn't, go back to square one and, the way that movie ended was great. You mean I'm the bad guy? I'm the bad guy? Only this was even much more explosive. He had a series of very bad days to become this now entity, this figure. The beginning, he's trying to smile, but now he could generally smile and make smiley faces. That sadly, the tragedy of it all is that the only way he could belong in his own mind is to be the Joker, which is sadly just how it is, how it became, how it was created. Instead, he just gives up and goes, it's just me. It's just me. So he got raped. He gave up. He got dumped. He's walking. Someone comes up to him and says, I want to tell you a joke about this guy, we watch on TV and we thought he was cool, but he's a fucking loser. Or whatever the hell he said. And then a song where it's like, I'll leave a son, someone to take my place. So I guess that's like finally a song that I guess is telling the plot, which is this guy stabbed the hell out of him in the stomach like 10 times. As he's dying, the guy walks away and you hear laughter. And I think you see him doing this. That's the real Joker. That's what they're going at. That's the real Joker. Because as, Todd Phillips would go, hey, Arthur Fleck was never the Joker. Even though it's called Joker, and this is called Joker 2, Folie Deux. Well, back in the day, they said that. But at the same time, you saw that $1 billion worth of people kind of liked what they saw. They appreciated the story that you told. They accepted it. But you want to be against the grain because you're an artiste. You're the guy that made Old School. Fuck this artiste shit, Todd Phillips. You got lucky with Joker, but you're also the guy that made Old School. Your most famous film before that was Mike Tyson punching someone out. Which I like the first Hangover. I know some people don't. Yeah, so give me a break this artiste BS. Hell you talking about? But you did a good job with Joker. And you decided to just rip that apart. You just did this. That's what you did. So congrats. Because barely anyone liked your movie. It's flopping big time. Good luck getting more movies. He'll get a movie eventually, of course. It always happens. I mean, how many flops did Ridley Scott have? And he still gets movies like Gladiator 2. Alien Romulus wasn't that much of a hit. That last Duel movie with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, that wasn't a hit, but he still gets movies, so he'll get another movie. So what am I talking about? But I'm hoping someone's going to be a bit more leery about giving him the budget he wants. And maybe let's have a producer on his ass just in case. And the whole thing of having an actual Joker, and this is like supposed to take place, what, 2 years after? Why did you even need to do that? Because you're not going to make sequels. This isn't part of a universe. You're not trying to fit into some continuity, some timeline. So what's the point of that? What, so Harley Quinn is now going to go after that Joker? Is that what you're trying to hint at? I don't know why, because you're not doing any more movies. Didn't in an interview you say, oh, there will never be a Batman in this universe? I thought I read that somewhere. And hell, last time you saw Bruce Wayne, he was a little kid. So you'd still be pretty much a little kid if this is only 2 years later. So that Joker is going to be like 50 by the time Batman's around. And people go, well, actually, Batman isn't even a thing in this. Will never be a thing in this. Okay, then the Joker doesn't need to. Nobody needs to be a thing in this. Because it'd be its own universe, its own thing. Todd Phillips, what happened? Let's be honest. Let's be honest, folks. This is what happened. Todd Phillips is one of these guys that got mad, got his panties twisted, because, yes, there were some people that took Joker the wrong way. Remember when the film came out, and oh my god, there's going to be people rioting in the streets, and I bet it's going to be the Trump supporters. I bet the Trump supporters going to be the Trump supporters going to be. Because apparently Trump has been president for the past 50 years and done every horrible thing. And I don't even like Trump, but goddamn. Next they'll blame him for Pearl Harbor, they'll blame him for 9/11, and they'll blame him for Jared from Subway. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. Let it go for people. But yeah, they get butthurt about this stuff. They get butthurt about how some people took Joker, which was a minority of people. People like me and many of others like you liked it for the reasons of they liked the story, they liked the development of the character, they liked the way this guy was created. Not saying what he did was right, but at the same time you feel a bit of sympathy because of how well Joaquin Phoenix played the character, how it was developed, and how there are different layers to that, but apparently these filmmakers, they don't want to think that you can think in layered ways. Well, it's not about me, it's about you. It's those people out there, those dangerous people out there who can't think for themselves. Oh, those are the people we have to be worried about. It's not me, it's those people. And I gotta make a movie to retroactive for those people about the first movie. No, what you did was you made a shitty film that pissed off a lot of people. You made a film that tarnishes the first one. A lot of people say, man, it's going to be hard to rewatch the first film because of it. Not me, I've had my Alien 3 long ago. Now you have yours. I had my Vietnam, as you know, Colonel Trotman said in Rambo 3. Now you got yours. I've had my Alien 3. For all you Star Wars fans, I watched The Last Jedi. For all you Joker fans, Which I like Star Wars and I like Joker, but you got this movie. Welcome to the club. Thanks for joining. Trust me, the club is getting bigger. It's getting bigger and bigger. That's like my dick. Get bigger every day. And twice the size on Tuesday. As they call it, Tube State Tuesday. Open wide. And put on a happy face. Because that's the only happiness you'll get. Because you won't be watching this boring sack of shit movie. It says a lot. I'd rather watch Madam Web than this. Would I rather watch The Crow than this? Yes, because The Crow was just his own stupid, dumb remake thing. This pisses on a pretty good previous film for no good reason than the Todd Phillips wanted to be a panty wasting pansy wussy ass and Joaquin Phoenix wanted to be artiste. What the hell he was doing. And Lady Gaga, you know what? I don't mind your movies, but give me Radio Gaga. Radio Goo Goo. Radio Gaga. Okay, instead. Maybe they should have just had Queen music. At least it would have had a good soundtrack. The music section sucked. They were completely pointless. All they did was waste the time. You could make an edit of this film and cut every musical number. It would not change anything about the plot. You would not be confused at all. And it would actually pace it a bit better. And you wouldn't miss anything. Joaquin Phoenix's performance, he didn't really get to do much. There's no standout moments. I don't know with the musicals. I wonder, like, part of me, I know a friend of mine, Fabio, he mentioned there was some rumor that someone said that Lady Gaga is the reason why it was a musical, because she said I won't do it unless it's a musical. But I would go, why the hell would she have that power? And why the hell would Joaquin Phoenix and Todd Phillips go along with it? Let alone a studio giving $200 million for it? I mean, I know Lady Gaga's popular, but I don't think she's that damn popular or that damn powerful. I would not be surprised if they took the success. Remember that stair scene in Joker 1? Like, probably the most famous scene in the movie. Where he's going up and down the stairs. It's like a dance, and that's the most musical portion of the movie. They went, wait a minute. People really like that scene. It's musical, and he's dancing, and people memed it, and people danced on the steps, and they shot their TikTok videos on it. That means they want a whole movie like that. No. They thought it was a good scene that worked well for the development of the character. But these people that thought Zack Snyder was going to help their DC universe. That's how fucking smart they are. Look how that beat you on the ass. Congrats. This film sucks. I don't even know what else to say. Thanks for watching. Take care. And we'll see you guys later. Send in the clown, because ain't nobody happy from this movie, so maybe he could put on a happy face for you. Probably not. Later.